Okay, Google, DOST.
Vince, what are you Googling?
PHEV. I'm checking if there's an earthquake.
Earthquake?
Yep, because this BYD Sealion 6 is going to rock the compact SUV world. Hey everyone, Vince here from AutoIndustriya.com, and we are at Evo City here in Cavite, a property of Ayala Land, and we're checking out the new BYD Sealion 6, a model that is really going to rock the compact SUV class right down to its core. And the reason, they're gonna offer this for around 1.6 million pesos. Now, think about that kind of pricing, what you can get when it comes to a compact crossover in that class. Because when you look at some of the legacy crossovers, they're already well up over 2 million. Some of the other ones are smaller, well below this. So this is going to fill a very critical price range in the class, regardless of whether you're looking at a subcompact or even a full-on compact. But you're not gonna get this level of technology, because this marries together the ability to drive as a pure EV, as a range extender EV, and as a parallel hybrid with the ability to plug in. Yes, it's all in one, and it's certainly packed with potential. Now for the styling. As you know, BYD has several series of vehicles. Before, they had the Dynasty series. That's why you have the Tang, the Song, and the Han. This one is part of the Ocean series, just like the BYD Seal, which we've driven before, the Dolphin, and all those other models. The Sealion fits into the category of a compact crossover SUV, but what a sleek styled compact crossover we have. The very distinct fascia, it's very, very unique in its segment, with these LED headlights and the nice droplet details that they have right there. The Sealion 6 is a fairly wide vehicle, but it's also pretty long, just under 4.8 meters long overall. Got these nice ocean-inspired wheels there with comfort bias tires. And comfort and refinement is actually a focus of BYD with this vehicle. Now, what it may say on the spec sheet, all the other features here, but a couple of things they don't indicate. The fender liners, these are actually kind of cloth-like, so it kind of absorbs all the pebbles and the noise that you may get from a plastic liner. Same with the rear, even the glass. I mean, you have the laminated glass here and acoustic glass right here for the front seats, which is very, very nice when you're driving along. Just keeps it a bit more insulated. And then you have the nice aesthetic over here on the side. From the back, you can kind of see the premium aesthetic that I was talking about when it comes to the Sealion 6. I mean, the width, the way they do the taillights, especially with these droplet details, very, very distinct. Down below, you've got a very neat bumper. No fake exhaust pipes here. Of course, that's something to be expected out of these kinds of vehicles. Instead of having build your dream spelled out here, BYD just went for BYD, which personally I think it looks nice and neat. But what's great here is once you start opening up the space. So right now we have the seats folded down, but if they were up, the space here would be about 35 inches long, 37.5 inches wide, and actually quite tall here overall. You can even move down this cargo floor to give you a little bit more height. But if you want to see what's underneath there, we've got a tire repair kit, compressor, high visibility jacket, early warning device, and this is not a charger. This is actually your V2L connector. It allows you to power devices using your BYD Sealion 6. The charger is over here, and to plug in the charger, you plug it in right here, which is quite nice because it's very neatly located, and it is a Type 2 charger, meaning you can easily charge at many malls all around. And given that Ayala really does have quite a few malls, they're gonna fill those up and equip those with these kinds of chargers. And for fueling up, you are going to actually use the connector on the other side. But first, let's take a look at what's under the hood. So now let's check out what's under the hood. And oh, it's a lot of plastic, keeping everything nice and neat. Now underneath here, this is not a frunk, this is just a lid to give you access to the air filter. And that's because this still has a gasoline engine, but it's also a hybrid and an EV and a plug-in hybrid all like rolled into one. That's what BYD is giving us with the Sealion 6. It can drive on pure EV mode for up to 100 kilometers, and combined with the gasoline engine, you can get a total of up to 1100 kilometers of range on a full charge and a full tank. That's a long way to go for any vehicle. The battery is an 18.3 kilowatt hour battery. It's located underneath to give you an optimal balance when it comes to cornering. But really, we're excited about the prospect of the Sealion 6 giving you the range you need for any kind of road trip all around the country. Oh, I need the cover, please. So I've been sitting in the back seat of the Sealion 6, and I think I found the right way to describe how comfortable this is. And it's very Stone Temple Pilots. It's plush because you sit here, the cushioning it's sofa-like, and the armrest here is nice, 2 cup holders, and you can relax here. It's also got the privacy glass there. You've got 2 AC vents with a USB port and a USB-C port. Pocket there, pockets here, lots of leg room, a flat floor, which is very, very good. Individual headrest, handle here, your own light up there. It's all well and good, but one of the nicest features here is the panoramic glass roof. And even though it's hot, I can actually open it from the back. Hi, BYD. Can you open the sun blinds for me, please?
The blind is open.
Thank you, BYD. One more time. Hi, BYD. Can you open the sunroof for me? How cool is that? What's clear from the moment we step inside the Sealion 6 is that BYD really pays attention to the aesthetics. You can see it with how they do the dashboard. It almost looks like an exotic European car with the way they did all the trim, all the leather, the stitching, all that stuff, the way they shaped it. They take a lot of liberties with the way they design things, and we like that kind of attention to detail. It makes the car unique, makes the experience certainly elevated. Now, there are actually 2 kinds of color combinations available in the BYD Sealion 6. With the color of the car, this being in the gray, it comes with the tan and the black and the red interior. With the white and the blue variants of the Sealion 6, it's going to have a different kind of color interior. Gives you a bit more personalization depending on which colorway you want. But the features are the same. So in front of you, you've got a full digital screen as your instrument cluster. Displays all kind of information. Who is sitting where? Like here, I can see me sitting there, not wearing my seatbelt. I can see Barney sitting there in the middle. And whoever is seated in other positions here, you can find out who's sitting where. So if you see someone there and there's nobody there, you should be a little bit worried. So this meter displays all kinds of information pertinent to your driving. So you have the power meter on the left side. So it shows you the kind of throttle pressure relative to the speed and whether you're being economical or you're being very, excited about driving your Sealion 6. Now you also have your current power consumption. You also got the ability to see whether you are in HEV mode or in EV mode. So if I press this button here, you'll see here, it'll turn to EV mode, and you can activate HEV mode depending on which one you want to be able to use for your drive. Right below, you have the state of charge for the battery. Like I mentioned earlier, if it's fully charged, it gives you the ability to drive up to 100 kilometers on pure EV alone. Over here, you have your overall range. That is with the gasoline engine and the EV system combined. So right now, we have a total of 1099 kilometers of range available. We'll see when we actually test drive it how much we can really do, because I think that's going to be pretty accurate. On the right side of the display, you have the speed, you have the compass, your outside temperature. Wow, 40 degrees right now outside, pretty hot. But the more interesting one is right up here. It's the status of your smart driving system, which BYD calls DI Pilot, and then they call it the ADAS as well. So it gives you something called intelligent cruise control. And it's a level up from adaptive cruise control, because adaptive It just monitors the speed of the vehicle ahead and sticks to a nice distance, a nice safe distance to that which you can set. But this one takes it several notches further. For one, it's got the traffic jam assist, so it allows you to manage traffic congestion by really activating the way they do the throttle, because in some cars you have to step on the pedal when you come to a stop in a traffic jam. This one, no. It also has the lane keep, all that stuff integrated into one system. We'll list it all right here so you can peruse it, but it's a really nice system that we would really want to try when it gets to be really heavy on EDSA. But the eyes really are drawn to this huge screen here. It's 15.6 inches. I think it's even bigger than my laptop at home. So it's a massive screen and it tilts. I mean, that's a typical BYD party trick and we like it. You press this button, it just rotates. There's also a button right here which you can press to also rotate it back to its landscape format. It's a nice feature to have. It's really more for enjoyment than anything else, but we really like the ability that you can set it the way you want it. Now, it's got so many things to display for you. Information on your navigation, Spotify, the radio. Then you swipe. You have all these features that you can peruse depending on what you're using. And it has wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And right now, Android Auto is connected with my phone. And you can see it right there, which is nice. Why am I listening to Novella? Scratch that. To get out of this view, you can press the BYD button there, or you can swipe up and tap the home button there, because you also control your AC system from here. So when you tap this, you can adjust the fan, you can adjust the temperature, dual zone climate control, of course. You can tune it the way you want it, depending on the left or on the right. And then you have your air purification here, which is a nice thing to have, especially it's been pretty dusty lately. So that's going to be pretty handy all around. Now, you can see here, you have the 360 camera. Right now, we do have the door open. I can see Nico up there talking with Andre. He delivered some really good snacks for us earlier. So yeah, he can stay in the shot. But you have the different views of the vehicle. This is the front view. This is the 3D view. When we close the doors, it's all gonna change, but it gives you a nice perspective of the car. Now down here, AC vents. You also got dual wireless chargers here. So if you're the type who has two phones, or if you have someone here who wants to charge their phone, they can. And right now, it's also hooked up to the wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Down here, you have a control panel. So you have the hazard button here. You have the stability control off button here. The auto brake hold right there. This is the EV and HEV button that I was pressing earlier. The start stop, the park, the mode, the driving mode. So you have several. So you have eco, you have normal. It comes up here. So normal, sport, snow field. Well, we don't have any snow fields in the Philippines, but it also works for slippery, extremely slippery surfaces and all that, depending on where you want to drive and how you want to drive. Normally, we just keep it in, well, normal. Volume control, auto and all that. 2 cup holders. But the coup de grace has to be this, the shifter, because this is something they call the heart of the ocean. To use the heart of the ocean, well, you step on the brake, put it into drive, pull it like that. To put it into reverse, you just push it, and then your camera comes on, allowing you to park very, very easily. So down below, you have this pocket here, which you can put all kinds of stuff. If you have a bag small enough to fit there. If you want to charge devices, you can with a USB and a USB-C port. You've got bottle holders on the doors, big compartment here, 2 cup holders. The best part though, you've got a 10-speaker Infinity subwoofer system. Actually 9 speakers plus a subwoofer in the back. Pretty nice, and something we want to test out with some really good rap music, but we can't right now because we'll get flagged on YouTube. We have a limited space and limited time to play with the BYD Sealion 6 here in Evo City. But despite that, I stand by what I said. This is a seismic event in our local auto market, because for the last couple of years, attention has been drawn away from the crossover class, the compact crossover class, because of rising prices. So a lot of the models that we know and love in this class have already moved up in price well above 2 million even. And then it made space for the subcompact crossovers at just around 1.2. And then in comes the Sealion 6 at a price that a lot of people are actually looking at. And what you get is a lot of features, a lot of style, and a lot of technology. And we've been driving around now maybe for a few minutes, and we've been in pure EV mode the whole time. When we started, we were at around 72%. Now we're at 67. We're just cruising around this Evo City lot here in Cavite, and it's cruising quietly. Like even when we bump up the speed. So let's try cruising at around. We can't go that fast. So let's cruise around, say, 50 kilometers per hour. It's very, very silent. The tires definitely focus more on comfort, and even though there are quite a few pebbles around, you can't hear as much of it because of the way they did the insulation for the wheel wells. These are things that people pay attention to if they want to deliver a very comfortable experience, and certainly BYD did just that. Now when it comes to the actual handling, I think that's going to be the sacrifice because the steering is a bit on the light side. I'm sure I can adjust it if I, say, put it to sport. Added a little bit of weight to the steering, I think, or maybe just me. But still, it's not going to be something that I'm going to be cornering up mountains at high speeds. It's going to be something I'm going to be cruising around town and in the city and on the highway. And I can do it very, very easily and very comfortably with this. Again, what we really want to test is the range of the vehicle. But we won't be able to do it here yet, but I'm sure we can probably take this up to Ilocos very, very easily. I mean, how many kilometers is that? But what's going to be key with BYD moving forward is the reassuring ownership experience. And that's what they want to deliver to their customers. For one, when it comes to your service intervals, I think it's only once per year that you have to bring your car in. And the reason it's such a big margin between intervals is because, for one, you're going to be driving in a lot of EV mode, pretty much with the vehicle. And also, your engine isn't going to be running that much. It's not really going to be accumulating that much mileage and runtime compared to a regular ICE. So they can stretch out the intervals and allow you to enjoy your car for longer. And I think the cost of that is going to be lower as well overall. But we'll check in with that when we do our full review of the vehicle. But also the fuel cost is going to be much less because, again, it gives you the best of both worlds, and it allows you to plug in, whether you're at the mall or at home or, well, hopefully in your office in the future, to plug in your car and charge. But they also have all these kinds of technologies that they're using in this vehicle. Before, when we visited the factory, they had this, I think, 7-in-1, 10-in-1, maybe it's 20-in-1 now, I'm not really sure. But they have this technology to combine everything into one unit, into one control unit for easy servicing, and they control that manufacturing process very vertically. And that is something important if you want to ensure quality control. And it seems we're seeing that kind of quality control with the BYD Sealion 6. But another great thing here is the V2L capability. If you take that adapter I showed you earlier, and you can use it to plug in all kinds of devices. Let's say if you go car camping, if you want to run a TV, if you want to run some other devices for your camping trip, you can do so with this. And given that you can also fuel it up, you're not going to be worrying about range anxiety at all in the Sealion 6. We've only had a brief drive of the new Sealion 6, but I have to say, BYD is out to make a compelling statement with this vehicle. For one, the price already mentioned, 1.6 million. That's not even final. They'll have the final price probably somewhere around here, wherever it may be. We think it's going to be really, really good. The range, outstanding. The interior, also outstanding. It's clear that BYD is pulling out all the stops to impress every person that gets in and gets behind the wheel of the new Sealion 6. And that is the impressive part about it. Because this kind of effort, we've always wanted to see from automakers, regardless of where they're from. And we're seeing it with BYD. But guys, let me know in the comments below if you are sold with the new Sealion 6. This is Vince of AutoIndustriya.com. Thank you for watching, and see you when we try out this vehicle for a nice and full, long test drive.